Hi Aquarius, welcome back with my funky hair with your March read. Now you guys are about to land a very interesting month. I've pulled your romance house, I recorded it before and I'm like, wow, we're going to break this down and make it very simplistic. You guys in your romance house have been trying to fine tune things. Now, there may have been a lot of conflicts with how to bring everything together, how to bridge the gap, especially the Pisces energy in Mercury. It's really where we've had to go on a hunch. It's in its detriment. So, you know, especially with the cards that you've got coming through when it pertains to romance, your connections, your contracts, your career, your education. A lot of you is changing. So, you've had so much 12th house activation. You've been so in that frequency of having to use your mind, where it's been this looping energy of these revolving doors. It's going to become a bit more settling this month, where you're going to have a bird's eye view landing in your first house. Now, landing in your first house, any disputes you've had pertaining to family, career, your romance, the spiritual connection you've got. Look at the way my hair is. This is probably how you guys feel. It's moving into the month. When we hit different aspects in your zodiac sign, is going to be a more nurturing time. You know, with the Virgo moon, Virgos have this innate way of compartmentalizing and placing things together. If you had a really awkward puzzle and you were to sit down next to a Virgo and you were like, my mind has been in this cycle and I can't, it could be a crossword. Where's that missing link? Go talk to a Virgo. But you've got to be away from your ego too, because they have a very mathematical mind. Now, reaching a point of resolve in this romantic connection, I do feel you're going to find a solution this month. It will go back into shadow again with Mercury, where it'll be out of your sign and it'll be back into Pisces. And during that time, again, go back into the intuitive mind. You may feel like you're operating on autopilot. A lot of what's going on is about you this month. So it's, your mindset, your finances, all of those things are being fine-tuned this month. And there is still the crown chakra activation. So we have a lot of crown chakra. We've got a lot of throat chakra. When it does hit your sign and Saturn goes retrograde in Aquarius, again, you're visiting your own sign. You're visiting your own energy. And it's the upgraded version of you. So you can potentially confuse partners initially, where you're a bit more relaxed all of a sudden, you're absorbing all of the information, and it will be like ascension symptoms. If you are needing to communicate or you're not in communication, you're still going to have this deeply, deeply profound shift inside of yourself. I do feel ultimately some key goals you're really going to be looking through. You know, what you're actually wanting to achieve. How you're wanting to pull this together. What are your hopes? And do you feel that that can balance within this connection? Venus is going to be in Taurus. Now, this is where we can have some 360s. With the Uranian energy, whenever they make squaring aspects, we're really stuck, and we had a lot of those last month. I feel like you guys are looking at life to the point of view of, okay, I've seen what doesn't work, and I have been in this mental mindset of, being betrayed, maybe getting lucked out and not feeling as though you've got what your inheritance was, your birthright, what your position in society was. And you may feel like, is there a solution? That's the Pisces energy, okay? It's like, wow, okay, I'm all on my intuition here. Am I trapped? I feel with the Virgo moon, it's going to be able to compartmentalize things. And by the time we move into the next moon phase, this is where it's really going to kick off with that Aries energy again. And it's going to be a new way of dealing with our communication, a new way of looking at our wounds, and a new way of looking at the pain within connections and how we can balance those things out. Now, a lot that come through in your read, and it kept coming through, is where you have a decision on your side of the fence. So most of your energy was coming through, regardless of the person that you're tuning into has got some conflict going on, but they're working through their blockages. They're moving into alignment. So it's going to be the new version of you will that match that. And I'm not feeling that to be problematic. I'm feeling this is a month where you guys are really coming home to yourselves. You're really coming to the place where you're wanting a lot of balance. And even the key dates I was looking at, even when I look at your charts, I'm seeing pocket times of major movement. Now, one of them is around April and May. The other is October. But this is the point of no return. We can't go back to the old way of being. You've had so much 12th house activation that, especially with your ability to grow, this push-pull energy, it's coming to a complete alchemization where the need for balance is there. Now, this energy is about balance. So we're going to, in April, have a super full moon in Libra on the 8th. I'm feeling this is a key date. Like, what you realize this month and how you change things is really going to be key to the way you're going to deal with marriages, contracts, and partnerships. And now, within the spiritual connection, this person has the best of intentions. But a lot of your soul path, being in the 12th house, it's like you're a very old soul. 12th house placement is very important. It's a highest point of evolving from one side to the other. So it's been tough for you guys, Pluto in this energy is a 15-year transit, and this is not over till 2023. Saturn is going to be moving, so you're going to be alleviated at that level. And a lot of what you learn over your lifetime, depending on how old you are, obviously I read more for the older generation. I feel much of the last 12, 13 years have been to do with changing the way you look at things. There might have been a thought process of this indefinite aspect of abundance, and it's really changed you, but it's because your soul is meant for, how do I put it? It's helping you become fluid like the wind. It's also helping you come to a place where, with Uranus and Taurus, changes happen. It's like this. The Taurian energy prefers things to be more balanced, something to depend on, and you may not have had that. But it's not there to punish you, it's there to liberate you. But it does, during that transit, especially with 4th house placement, make you feel very disillusioned by those things. Now, a lot of what has been highlighted, where you might have been like driven towards and then pulled back again, there's been this push-pull. There's a lot coming through in your read at a very spiritual level. There can be some things going on, with your romance where you have a belief system of what you're meant to be versus what your soul's telling you to be. And I do feel this stuck energy is going to resolve by the end of the month. Now, this is going to be a time where there can be more balance in your relationships. And especially pertaining to romance, I feel if you can get grounded and you can look at it from a different point of view, it will come down to you about how you directly relate to it. It's going to show you where you actually maybe at a mental, cognitive level have felt stuck. But the 12th house can do that, and it's been a very long time in your sign for this, so it might have been very, very arduous with that energy for that transformation. Now, you guys are going to be going through a brand new cycle by the end of this year, and you're moving into that. You're going to get slight hints of it, especially pertaining to romance. Your belief systems inside of your connections are healing, and I do feel that's where the movement in love is going to go. I do feel both energies are really dealing with that. Now, if you're in a partnership and, be it you're tuning into the person you love or you're in that direct relationship, on either side of the fence, there could be a separation that is happening. There could be conflict and legalities associated with it. If you've been waiting on paperwork to come through for you, I do feel it's more to do, I'm hearing later. It's not too far, But the energetic shift of what you're dealing with in the 3D is going to be made, like, you're going to make peace with it. That's when it starts flowing towards you, I feel. Now, if you or your partner, again, as I said, have energies that have been very complicated to deal with, maybe very stubborn, this could even be an ex energy on your side or their side, or even a parent figure. The understanding of these energies, it's going to be more clear to you why. A lot of these cycles that are coming through, it's foundation related. So ultimately where you're heading to is the Four of Wands. So anything that happens this month, it is taking you to this place where you're going to have that energy. But I do feel there's two key individuals here that have been potentially causing a lot of conflict. Now, these could be feminine energies, and I'm really feeling it to be feminine energies, older or younger, or directly connected somehow. Now, there could be, this person feels at a distance, and one, there's no communication at all with. So you're none the wiser of what's going on that side of the fence. Your romantic interest is coming through very positively. They're looking at you from the perspective of, on their side of the fence, what they're currently dealing with can be adversity, but it might be looking as though all they're focused on is finances, or all they're focused on is monetary value. But it's for a reason, you know. There could be a lot of money going out for them. There may be a deep need for them to work very hard. But it's due to the energy in Capricorn I'm being shown. Now, the advice in the cards of what is coming through, and I need to tune, so that's why on this occasion there's a lot of information here. The way the cards are speaking is that you need to actually shift your energy onto you, just temporarily. Because with a few aspects that are occurring this month, I do feel the ball is in your court, how you directly relate. And this can be in communication. Now, you have very positive aspects when it comes to your career. Very positive aspects if you want to have a new beginning in any shape or form. Communication is going to be deeply important. Now, mid-month, it can be complicated. But around March the 30th, you could be really battling with yourself, because we're going to have Mars in Aquarius. There's going to be a lot of first house placements. Let me look at your chart. They've given me another message. Where did I put it? Yeah, a lot of work-related dynamics. If you're guided to do something and you're thinking, do I need to wait? I do feel this is the month to take action. And it will really be nagging at you. I feel it's almost like whatever is going on with this romance, there are a few key areas you deeply need to look at. There are going to be some very good opportunities for you. Try not to get dragged down in the matrix of this situation. The Virgo frequency with the super full moon will help compartmentalize things and look at things very 3D and rational. And then bouncing back into the Pisces energy, you're going to have to follow your intuition, but gain the intuition during the Virgo moon. And then start dealing with those key areas, because I do feel even with Saturn retrograding into Aquarius, you're going to be more in your own vibration. You're going to be looking at it from, okay, how are people seeing me? How am I showing myself? Has there been some, situations you've been tackling that have been really, really difficult? Both at a spiritual way to directly articulate. With the lightening of that frequency, you may be able to express yourself to this person a lot better. I do feel they understand, or they're going to understand, but it's like if you can get down to the basics, and I'm hearing, you know, the Virgo moon is going to be very black and white, matter of fact. Show me the reality, and really having some direct examples, especially through the Mercury retrograde cycle. You would have seen direct examples where some things in life were out of balance and what to need to apply to now. Now, with Saturn retrograding in Aquarius, you might be looking at male energies in your life also, and looking at how they directly relate. There's also going to be a theme coming through where some of your friendship groups between now and May, they may cycle out. So don't get concerned about that, because anyone who's supposed to be there is going to remain. But I do feel a very serious, accountable energy coming through where you have the bigger picture in mind. And if this is a reconnection, there are serious tasks to deal with pertaining to home, pertaining to communication, getting on the same page. But you must look at it from your perspective of how is this going to be beneficial for you, and how have you potentially, you know, really what you're wanting to balance is the entirety of it, not a temporary fix. That's what I'm hearing. So pause in it and assess what's on offer. Assess the give and take and what you're getting, because like I said, I do feel there will be other areas that will be pulling at you that are really going to take you to your higher path of where you're meant to be. And whatever side-swiping energies are coming in to kind of take your mind off this direct romance, and I'm not saying like removing you from it, I more mean to keep your mind free. Trust that, because it's there to support you, and I feel by focusing on beneficial things for you, there's these opportunities coming in, and they're for your future, but they're also directly connected to this partnership. Whatever conflict is here, I'm being told it doesn't relate to you. You may feel it does. In a pain body experience, yes, okay? Because we get really stuck in that wound's activated. But I do feel if this is a romantic partner and they've got things going on in their family and you've got things going on in your family, you to the core are purging a situation and a belief. Try not to involve yourself or get dragged into this, because this is a chapter that's ending, and it is going to end. There is a better frequency coming with the people you're relating to, with your romance house. It won't look like it initially, but you need to trust in it. You know, sometimes, and I've always found this, 9 times out of 10 when we're wanting a solution, our ego, when we're seeing an outcome, in the initial stages, we're feeling, oh, this is not going to be good. But it's to get to that, and it's to solve some of these direct blockages in the path. Now, your career sector and your finances and the way you're investing in things, dig deep, because the 12th house has given you those tools. And I really do feel, if you don't want to fall pregnant, be careful, because this is a very fertile time for you. In a sense of your career, what you're manifesting, be very careful what you're thinking. You're very high on the ascension chain right now. And with that crown chakra and distorted energies, both light and dark can come in. So really clearing your home, clearing your chakra. You'll notice this pattern coming in. You'll get the yin and yang. When you're working at that level with the crown chakra, when you're really fine-tuning it, you'll think something negative and all bad crap will come. You think something positive and you're in alignment, and you'll be very quick to actually receive it. You'll be in this energy of manifestation. Everything you need is going to be given to you. So when we're looking at, you know, the second house energy, you do have that at the moment with, how do I put it? You know, looking at your energy of your assets and the things that you're wanting to achieve. You're in 12th house energy, so needing to check in with the mind of where that conditioning is coming from. You're clearing your crown chakra quite a bit, and so things naturally are coming and going, and it can feel very unsettling. It is part of the spiritual awakening, Even in growth, you know, out with the old, in with the new energy. So if you find you're throwing things out, it's actually normal. Your belief may be that you have a way that you feel life should be. Whatever's playing out is actually there to help you grow. It's there to help this romance and your career sector and your finances grow. But you have such a mind that, how do I place this? They're showing me entrepreneurship. In your communication sector, I feel you're going to be on your A game. I feel like even when it does come to coming to terms with changes, the adversity that you've dealt with, it would make you a perfect lawyer, a perfect doctor, a perfect counsellor, because you see the bigger reason why. Now, there is a lot of changes that have been happening with Uranus and Taurus for you, because it's your 4th house, which is your physical foundation. No sooner do you work on it, it's stripped away, because 12th house is very much coming to that peaceful place of allowing the ebbs and flows of what's necessary to come into your domain. Now, there can be a lot of pain. Your Aries and Chiron is in your 3rd house. Don't allow what other people say to take you off course. And in the past, you might have, you know, really getting up in your head and thinking, you know, this is, do you mean my dream is a delusion? You know, not giving that power away, but actually checking where that's coming from. Even if a person can say something in 2.5 and it's for that moment, and it can be due to a pain body experience, it doesn't mean it's true. But by feeding that vibration, it's affecting you. I just feel you off to the right, Fairy. And if, even though this romance is here, I feel there's other things external going on to the point where it's bringing you home to self. Now, by stepping back and seeing other people's perspectives, because you are deeply intuitive, I feel you're going to see some patterns, okay? With the people you're hanging with the things people have said. Look at the reality of it, but how does it relate to you? There may be a different way you are looking at this month, and at any blockages you've had moving forward and the conflict. I feel once you balance that out, everything's moving. And I do feel very, very quickly. Again, judgment energy and, you know, Libra and Juno at the moment. Where is that for you guys? Let me check. What house does that fall into? Where did I put my chart? Libra and Juno is marriages, contracts, partnerships. And I would have to lose that paper, wouldn't I? Where'd I put it? I'm so not starting this video again. Mercury retrograde and recording these readings is interesting. Okay, Libra is your 9th house. Wow, talk about an awakening. Your shadow side. Juno was asking you to look at, you know, it can be your education, it can be your belief systems, it can be countries, other countries, the people you're linking in with, what their belief systems are versus what yours are. Very ascension symptom orientated energy to be in. But it is the rebirth energy. It's, you know, those situations that play out in your life are where you directly become liberated. And to balance it, it's all about communication. So everything you're going through right now, if you are going to be, you know, launching a business, moving into alignment of where you feel is correct for you, communication is going to be the key for you. Speaking your truth. caution to what you're saying versus what you mean. So sometimes, like when we're hurt, we can accidentally say things like pause, red traffic light. Okay, I'm triggered here. Okay, move into the solar plexus, the yellow energy. Is there a wound here? Do I need to look at that? Is it the wound, which is the egoic experience of pain, or is it something where you're looking at it from an outsider's point of view, which is 9 times out of 10 a very healthy place to go. We need to detach and look at it from the outside, where we're safe. So we're looking at all angles and understanding all individuals involved in the bigger picture. That is key for you this month. Once we move to May, this will be something that you will be doing quite a bit. Okay. You may have felt that you had seen all sides. Due to a fact you had experienced it, but you're looking at it from your point of view potentially. I do feel there's missing information. Yes, you have experienced some conflict. Some would be an understatement. But there is a missing link. You know, each person's kind of vibration of how they've perceived a situation is very unique. So unless we've walked in their shoes, we can't know. And it goes the same on your side. So energies can swap, and I do feel it's miscommunication. I'm going to pull 3 cards. Look, overall, their energy is, your romantic house is going to be fine, regardless of how it looks right now. They do have power on their side of the fence, and they're dealing with things. You might not see it, you may not know, but ultimately, they're doing this for the benefit of the bigger picture. You may have a way you believe things can be done. They can be very stubborn energies. This can trigger you now and then, but you know, ultimately they're like, right, okay, and this is the way you've got to deal with them, is going, okay, I know you've got this. I'm moving over here because there's things calling at you for you to address, but I do feel meditation. Some of you are looking at a holiday. Others of you are really looking at a very, very important place, which is upskilling your new belief systems. You may even be a guru. But, you know, career energy coming through loudly, entrepreneurship. You may feel they're taking you down a dark alley and you're like, I don't want to go there. Again, the Virgo moon's going to help balance that out. But it will be, let me assess this, because there's been a lot of conflict. Let's take a pause. Let's get into a more communicated state where we can actually see each other's perspective. I do feel negotiations here. The old energies that haven't finalised are being dealt with, but don't own that vibration too much, because I feel it will affect you. Now, they're on their A game. They're coming through in the King energy. There are people around them that are quite toxic though, and that was coming through on their side. They're in a high vibration energy, but the people that are coming at them and being needy, allow them to deal with that on their side of the fence as part of their spiritual process and growth. Yeah, this is ending a cycle. So some of them may be actually ending a partnership. And there could be conflict pertaining to communication due to Mercury retrograde. Also to do with their belief systems of what that was and making peace with it. But also, you know, cutting ties at a financial, physical, 3D level. In some shape or form. Now this could be for them, again, remember Juno, marriages, contracts, partnerships, all of us have that activation. This is where the movement's coming from. Anything you guys are directly dealing with this month, it is going to move it. But it will also show you where the stagnation's coming from and why this has not been moving. Okay? So this is the month to receive the clarity. This is where a plan of action will be made. And on both sides of the fence, this is where you will be able to have the clarity as to how to end that. Love and light. See you mid-month.